MAGA Man is brought to you by
It appears you hold all the cards, Mr. Trump. My fate is in your hands.
Has anyone ever told you you look like a donkey?
Yes. Many times.
Even facing certain death, you're defiant, like a petulant child. Well, it won't help you now, Maduro. Your time is up. F8.
You sunk my oil tanker.
Hasta el final, asshole.
Coño, carajo.
Oil Tanker, the new game from Bilton Madley, proud sponsor of MAGA Man.
El papá de los pelucones.
Democrats used to believe that border security and immigration enforcement were just common sense ideas. Don't believe it? Take their word for it.
Americans are right to demand better border security and better enforcement of the immigration laws. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders. It has become an extraordinary problem.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. And we must do more to stop it.
Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported.
Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration.
People say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants from coming here? And the number one answer we give is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
Open borders. You're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders, and no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
For decades, these weren't controversial or radical ideas. The only thing that changed is them.
Hey yo, meticulous like a watchmaker, precision, I'm public enemy without the clock. Listen, champagne flavor apricot, full flavor, full leaf furs, ocelot, I'm at the spot, about to make a lot. On a calm morning, got me brainstorming, new ways to breach loopholes, new goals, to turn coal into diamonds, you motherfucking turncoats, cotton picking good for nothing wanted, you low down Benedicts, how you kill a good nigga working in the neighborhood, trying to build shit, that ain't real shit, I know it's hard to get on one accord, but why take king off the board, it's not checkmate, when the gang detonate, but let me deviate. I'm thinking more of pouring white grapes than the flu. How you escaping the coup, the heist. Open shop down in Alger Heights. Nothing less than success will suffice. Right, tell me how it feel to be a real one. We don't inherit empires, gotta build one. High stakes when it's fake, stay a real one. Mastermind a game plan to make a meal from. Tell me how it feel to be a real one. We don't inherit empires, gotta build one. High stakes when it's fake, stay a real one. Mastermind a game plan to make a meal from. It's real. Pearls before swine. Girls with strong minds, the world is all mine. It's like hurry up and wait, it's a long line. You got the right idea, but at the wrong time. Timepieces, I find peace, my mind reaches new levels, new devils to leave speechless. Speak truth to power, minutes turn to hours, yours become ours. Now it's new moves, rules of engagement. I leave out with the money, with who I came with. No more the same shit, but I'm still player. Get your main hit, like your first single. Layers, fly ladies understand lingo. On the hotel rooftop, we met mingle. Tequila shots, the whole menu was bilingual. Sing along, you know the words, it's not a jingle. A man with a plan with a purpose. Standing ovation, we out, close the curtains. Yeah. Tell me how it feel, tell me how it feel. Tell me how it feel to be a real one. We don't inherit empires, gotta build one. High stakes when it's fake, stay a real one. Mastermind a game plan to make a meal from. Tell me how it feel to be a real one. We don't inherit empires, gotta build one. High stakes when it's fake, stay a real one. Mastermind a game plan to make a meal from.
Position in the kitchen, I'm working. Whip it, bag of half and 50s, hit the strip and I serve it. If it's an issue, trust, I'm coming to get with you in person. With the extender, throwing at you till I flip the Suburban. All my businesses flourish. I'm on my way to my yacht. I put a 6 on the dock like Julius Erving. Damn, I know my nigga's sisters is hurting. He caught new case, but got his sentences concurrent. That ain't get him discouraged. Got another homie in prison for murder. He would let his gun clap and fire at anyone that would try. Watching this baby mother's cry, I got numb, I can't lie. His mama ain't shed a tear, she know that come with this line. Thought about it, his kids was young when son got the time. Won't see his daughter graduate, can't teach his son how to drive. Not to see where I get this ambition from and this drive, the machine. I'm iller than anyone that's alive. Look, bought the Benz truck and the Maybach with no license, straight from dealership, not from the auction with the low prices. A long way from selling white and running from the pole license. You niggas know who flow nicest. Raise the bar like coke prices. Fronted the homie, caught the joint, he stopped answering. Then my nigga since grammar school, I don't know how to handle it.
Olive Green Valley went breaker to wet my taste buds. Y'all hate niggas praying for table crumbs. Damn, y'all looking bad, y'all might be mistaken for bums. My first thought was to put some spare change in your cup. Here's a blanket, at least you'll be covered up. I'm becoming numb, I don't feel the love at night, I hug my guns. Might touch you with the same razor I used to cut my drugs. Homie, these blades ain't made for shaving, son. The snub is stainless, the air is white like Shayla Buff, I waited. Lipo sucked the plug, left weightless. Niggas on the waiting list, look at your greater wig, what's that, a wave kit? Listen baby, don't shake the shit, please. Still a assist, shit scaring away the fish. I'm a player, son, I'm just here sharing game with pimps. Bitch tried to throw a big monkey wrench in my Benz vent. I find it interesting, I was chilling just when they thought the engine went. I still did it big. Pick of the litter, but ain't no kittens here. I'm like Huey Newt sitting in the king's wicked chair with the pistol near. My face is chiseled in the silverware with care. Spilling Bel Air on the thread I wear. I'm a threat out here. You better not let the cat out for air, yeah. I'm a threat out here. You better not let the cat out for air.
Today, we honor a man
who not only parties with Jeffrey Epstein and Russian hookers, he also gets STDs from Russian hookers. A man that after getting STDs from Russian hookers, he graciously gives these STDs to his own wife, Melinda, who looks like a man, by the way, kind of like my wife. Anyway, instead of telling his wife, Melinda, that he just gave her STDs he contracted from Russian hookers, he asks his friend Jeffrey Epstein for some antibiotics so he can secretly put them in his wife Melinda's drink without her noticing, all while describing the shape of his own penis to his good friend Jeffrey.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Let me get a sound check.
Like check.
All right, no news. What's the deal, Playboy?
Oh, nothing much. Just happy to be here, ready to discuss this whole Black Caucus thing.
Oh yeah, man, long overdue. I was saying backstage, we had spoke briefly about this like a year ago, and then Saul and myself had talked about it, and Tito as well. So with a couple of these content creators consistently kicking it back in for the last couple of weeks. Looks like the time is right. But let me turn it over to you. Hold on, let me got my board, my file. All right, I believe we're good to go. Why don't you give us an opening statement? I'll pull up one of these first things to go over. We'll go through bits and pieces of a few of them because what I want to do is do it on the backdrop of other Black male content creators talking about this, and I do this to frame a narrative that to unframe a narrative that it's not just the influencers, the politicals, it's the everyday Black man that it's where, and it's more common than we thought. And I found that out when I started doing news desk, and I was like, oh, let me find some Black content creators that are talking about news and current events. And I was shocked to find so many Black men who were making conservative Black male content, and not the ABLs or the Offers or Tatums, like just regular dudes, and that they had, and they all had over 100,000 subscribers and everything. And so I said, okay, there's actually a niche for this, for Black men just talking politics and from a conservative slant, and it's profitable. We just got to find a way to get a new audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. I started doing the same thing because it never dawned on me to look for other regular everyday brothers like you said, because I was limited to what just popped up on my feed, or if I had the thought to look for it or do a search. But then I really started digging into looking for conservative Black men, and then I started seeing channels as well. At first they try to throw the Officer Tatums at you and the Anthony Bryan Logans, but then you start seeing I went to, who was this? A Righteous Perspective, and yeah, that was one of the ones that popped up, and I was surprised because that dude has a lot more subscribers than some of the regular dudes on YouTube, and I kind of rock with the message.
I think he's close to 500,000, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Doc Rich has got like 100. There's this guy named Kingdom Reacts. He's just he's a dude with cornrows and everything, and he's like a regular, you would say, hood dude. He's got 200,000 subscribers. Cartier family, those are Black dudes. They got all they do is and it's common. And when I even say conservative, it's not even so much political. It's more just they're making common sense takes on things, and then
down
to earth all on the conservative side. Yeah, and I said, okay, there's a huge market for this, and people are getting paid quite handsomely. I was like, all right, I just gotta I just gotta adjust my audience and everything, because you would think that there so many black men lean liberal. That's why I don't believe that 20% black men voted for Trump. I think that number was way higher. They just the polling, the exit polling questions don't have a way to capture that. And then I think a lot of dudes voted for Trump and just lied and said they voted for Kamala.
My thoughts exactly. Like, why would you tell if you're surrounded by certain folks in your family, you don't be ostracized? What are you gonna do? You're gonna lie, like just to keep the peace. So a lot of brothers probably did that, and like you said, like with all these down to earth brothers out there, not necessarily conservative. They may not consider themselves conservative, but they're just down to earth and they're just using common sense to parse out life. And a lot of times these brothers are silent because they don't want to be, like I said, ostracized. Because I don't know how many times growing up, it's like the way I grew up, it's like when you had a difference of opinion between the liberal minded folks and people that want to do wrong, they came at you a certain way. So a lot of times you either kept it to yourself or you expressed your views elsewhere, like online forums back when we had the old dial-up days.
No, 100% solid. And actually, before I even start this, you addressed something. I think there's a piece of nuance like that. Me and Saul have been parsing it out like behind the scenes. That's because that's what we do. We talk things through, and sometimes it's over a course of months just to be like, what, this is my reason on this. Does this make sense? So a lot of times, by the time we come to a Sunday show or something like that, and we're making an argument, and it's seeing everybody's like, "Wow, it's pretty tough." That's because we've hashed it out for like almost several months. Just talking back and forth. Like, does that sound clear? Well, we can't argue it that way. It's going to come off this way. So, what you were saying about brothers being conservative or just common sense, I think there's a nuance, especially with black men in particular, when we do this whole liberal conservative type thing. What I'm starting to think in general, labels aside, I think in general most black brothers are to some degree, at least by definition, in general, libertarians. They're libertarian with a heavy conservative bent, and they're more like swing voters. You see what I'm saying? Like they have some liberal sense, leaning, but when I say that, that's more like late '90s Democrat type thing. Like they want some help for for such and such, but things are going too far, and like they're not 100% all alt-right conservative, but they have conservative leanings. But it's more like a libertarian, live and let die, keep the government out of my friggin' business. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a nuanced thing, and I think this is the first time in recent American history where black men have had to contend with parsing out what their actual and defining what their actual political leaning is from a nuanced standpoint outside of the preset guardrails. What do you think about that?
I think you're 100% spot on, and I'll add to that by saying that this is the first time that black men have been allowed to speak, and you can't just shut us up. You're going to hear it everywhere. So that was the other element that was missing. Like, the old 90s talk shows, they let these folks speak for us uninhibited, and whatever we said didn't matter. But where we're down here, we can control the narrative on these different channels. We can push our own message and really line it up with some of the data we've researched. And that's the greatest power we have. We got research behind this. Ain't just opinions. We got the data, we got the statistics, we got the research, and we're quoting everything that we see and read, and interpreting it very well here.
No, I think you're spot on with that. Actually, that's a good segue. So yeah, let's in light of everything of what we've talked about previously. Let me so this guy is hey, let me put him back up. And I found him while I was doing the news desk. This brother's from Detroit, and I like him because he's like old dudes that I knew growing up. They just was commonsensical, and like we always make the old nigga jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So clearly he's an old nigga, and this is what I was saying about when I think we were on Sunday. We were like, that's just nomenclature for a lexicon. It's not really age specific. It's that old handkerchief, fried chicken eating, "Oh, y'all better not, just shit." That mentality. So this is an older brother, and he's from Detroit. His name of his channel is Detroit's HPTV. He's got 15,000 subscribers, and he just gets up and does his thing, but he's usually pretty spot on. And his analysis is not like this highfalutin political analysis. It's just common sense talk, right? Like like the old heads used to talk to you back in the day. So this one is Congressional Black Caucus has proven again that they serve no purpose. FBAs have taken the wheel.
All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. We have to discuss the Supreme Court's ruling against the Democratic Party. And as usual, their guard dogs, the Congressional Black Caucus, is out in defense.
What's my things?
Of the Democratic Party. The out screaming.
Yeah, that's got to be StreamYard tripping.
The world is over. The sky is falling. The out screaming foul play. The out using scare tactics. Again, when in all actuality, they were gerrymandering as well, trying to redistrict. They are the ones who started filling our communities with illegal immigrants to manipulate the census for seats. And all the actions that they did, they didn't care one thing about how it affected their constituents in the foundational Black communities that they claim to represent. They wanted to lump us all in with the immigrants and minorities and fight for those people instead of fighting for our communities. And it failed them miserably because they have a lack of understanding and they're out of touch with the grassroots movements. They don't even understand that foundational Black Americans are delineating, putting their grievances to the side and standing together as foundational Black Americans. We're not empathizing or sympathizing with immigrants anymore. They are not our friend. And as Malcolm X said, the liberals are not to be trusted. Malcolm X warned us about the liberals. Martin Luther King warned us at the end about the liberals, how they were an impediment. And now every loss they take, they want to make it our loss. They want to tell us that we're in danger, we're in trouble, and they're screaming racism from every mountaintop. When in all actuality, they ran a campaign based on termination of pregnancy to the 8th month, LGBTQ rights, transgendering of children, open borders, tampons in the boys' room, anti-Bible, anti-religion. They ran on an anti-Christ agenda. And a lot of you embraced that because they had the apostate preachers with them. They had the jack-leg chicken-eating preachers.
Oh, man.
Hiding behind the word while they manipulated you into voting for this debaucherous party. And now they took another L. And they want us to embrace the L. But that's not our L. Foundational Black Americans understand that the power is in our unity. Period.
We're gonna stop it right there. And you see how this isn't like this some political dissertation. This is just he doing it off the top. It's just common sense stuff. This is like the old head talking to the young boy, like if y'all was homies in the room. And what I'm saying is when the narrative is spun about like these Black men that support MAGA, these ultra, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all narrative shaping. And that's why I started off with this guy first before I pivot to Tim Black and Black Westchester, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're more, of the pundit commentator type. But this, I really think that this represents the majority of black males, and they're just commonsensical thinking. And the black males who are Democrats and ultra liberal, we know what they are. They the old Negroes, and like they a little light in the wrist. They love the low T ones. It just is what it is. What say you about what he said? Argument laid out, and then the optics and the narrative shaping of this.
Well, first, let me talk about how he kind of spoke to us on this one. This is him talking to his people as if we're in the same area as he is. And a lot of us have had men in our lives who relate to, and we can relate to how he just spoke to you. Just common sense, no sensational, not sensationalizing talking points, just speaking to the common core of what we've all had to deal with. Now, as far as what he was saying per se, these are core issues, dang, I almost lost my talking point here. The way they try to fear monger us. This is the same thing y'all been saying on here for years. The same old tactics, fear mongering. You're gonna lose this, you're gonna lose that if you don't vote Democrat, or you're gonna be, downtrodden, even poorer if you don't support these folks. How are you going to get any poorer than you are now with the current policies that they've been behind for the last 60, 70 years? It doesn't make any sense. So he's basically echoing everything that we've said over here, and I like the way he articulated that, though.
No, 100%. Contractor in the building. What it do, Playboy? My man been missing in action for a minute. Y'all know Contractor, one of the original Voltron pilots. Brother Zeke in the building. Yo, Zeke. Yo, I've been playing them study streams for you and a couple of the other brothers that is in Theo's class. I'll be trying to play them at night. I know y'all be driving at night, and a couple of and even Detroit. So all them me studying for the AWS. That's why I've been playing them Jones with a channel like that. I know people like, what's all this AWS? Because I got some subscribers that's either in the class or studying for the exam too, and I'm leading by example. I'm studying, dude. Detroit, what it do, Playboy? What it do? I'm in somebody else's goddamn studio, so I ain't even got no fly drops for you. But here you go.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
All right, sleep.
Hey, you got the email when I sent you about the site where I pull all my sounds and stuff from?
Yeah, but I don't know how to download from that job.
Oh, now all you got to do is click on whatever sound you want, right? Matter of fact, I clicked on one by accident, and when you click on the sound name, it says download MP3, and I think you upload those to your soundboard.
Man, I was trying to do that because I even logged in. I favorited like a ton of sounds there. I need my soundboard popping, man. I was lucky enough to find this joint.
Yeah, yep, that one's on there. Like, as soon as you click on one of the actual name for the sound, you can click on the buttons all day. But if you click on that name, it takes you to another page where it shows you where you can download it or copy a link or even share them.
Really, man? Come on, man. Don't tell me I'm on. Sometimes I know y'all be seeing all the graphics, and I look like some type, but I be on some retard shit sometimes, man. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, man, because I ain't even gonna hold you, man. I was up when you sent me that joint. I spent like a good 15 minutes trying to figure out how to download them sounds, and just got frustrated. Wait, drop that joint in the private chat. And I'm gonna try to do it while we up here on the air. If I'll shut.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop you a link that takes you directly to a sound, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, let me drop that in the private chat real quick.
You said I'm in the proving games. Didn't pass. Don't worry about that. You didn't pass Armageddon. Started Google Cloud and got pushed back. Oh, no longer trucking either. Stable position for cloud study, my man. Bro, we getting there, man. I'm about to take. I'm poised to take my exam in about 2-3 weeks. Y'all know I've been scoring 90s on the practice exams 3 times in a row. I really be getting it in. Everybody that's in the Patreon know I'll be posting my travel journals. I just started doing it. You see, like at the last one I posted, the back end, it's just clips of me studying for hours, flipping papers, going through exam notes. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not glamorous, bro. He said that clip is hilarious. Hell yeah. All right, there we go. Hold on. Let me open that joint up. All right, let me pull up this. Let me see. Hold on. Teleports it. All right, so I click the arcade button. Add to my soundboard. Copy link. Is that the?
Nah, you hit the download MP. Like I don't know how you do it on StreamYard, but you can hit download MP3. You have it on your PC.
I'm doing that right now. I'm about to. We doing it in real time over here. We doing.
And I just clicked on one at random because that's the teleport sound from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, we doing it in real time.
Yeah.
I'll update my man. Update the soundboard over because people don't know these little sound drops. They really do make the show pop.
Hey, salute to you, brother Zeke.
Oh, wait, it really worked. Hold on, bang.
Yeah, I heard it that time.
No, I just uploaded it to the joint. All right, you just got to shard. Then you sent me to the main board. I guess you guys show me how to get to the download page. All right, well, bet then that being case, the soundboard about to go crazy the next couple shows. He said, oh yeah, the Patreon. Oh yeah, and I'm about to make my study joints just a playlist on the channel. I'm gonna take them out of member mode and everything as a public service because I didn't know so many brothers was in Theo's classes studying for the exams. Yo, that's another thing. We make content, but we really got brothers putting in the work, helping each other out to get these 6 figures. It's real over here, bro. All right, so let's all right, boom. Let's do Timmy. Let's do my man Tim first. All right, let's do Tim Black, and then we're gonna do Black Westchester, and then it's culture. So share this tab instead. All right, bet. So let's get Tim's take on it. I'm a big fan of Tim Black. I found him also while doing the news desk, so let's go Tim.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries.
I gotta talk to Hakeem Jeffries for a moment.
Hakeem Jeffries.
You guys can sit in if you'd like, but it's between me and Hakeem.
Bro, who is his barber?
Hakeem Jeffries, I got one question for you.
Huh?
So who is his barber, man?
You've been in Congress since 2013.
We got to fight that dude, man.
He's been the top House Democrat since 2023. The Voting Rights Act died on Wednesday. What were you doing during the other 4,700 days? Trying to figure it out. I mean, if everybody's going to be fixated on who let Trump get in and why we dropped the ball, last time I checked, the ball and the buck stops with you. The Congressional Black Caucus is bracing for the largest collapse of Black congressional representation since Reconstruction. Everybody on Black Twitter losing their minds.
Yup.
Pointing fingers. Talking about 2016. Can you still believe we got Democrats pulling 2016 out there? Every time anything is lost, they start going back in time. Remember the time Hillary ran? Remember the time, ladies and gentlemen, outrage without accountability doesn't make sense. It's just rage bait.
That's a bar. Outrage without...
It's performance.
Yeah, run that part
we
back.
We don't do performance here. We do passion. We do righteous indignation. We do accountability. But we do not do theatrics.
Okay, Tim, I know you were sitting on this one. Let's do this.
Every time anything is lost, they start going back in time. Remember the time Hillary ran? Remember the time, ladies and gentlemen, outrage without accountability doesn't make sense. It's just rage bait.
Outrage without accountability is just rage bait. That's a bar. That's a bar.
Yeah, Tim be on it. Like I watched a few of his videos during the day, like when I'm at work, because I work 12-hour shifts, so that's a long time. I just hit play and just let it play in my pocket and whatnot. But yeah, he be on it. I didn't realize he had his own little media company. He does this full time.
Yeah. Like I said, I found him when I started doing news desk.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my point is, I didn't know so many of these guys were doing this, and that they were freaking good at it. You understand? They push Tatum. I like ABL. I like Black conservative perspective. George, I like George. Like, you know, people may say he goes, but on just straight political analysis, basically calling it like it is and making predictions. He's damn near almost always spot on. He's from an analyst standpoint, calling the pieces on the board and calling the plays. Yo, my man be spot on. I got to give it to him.
Yeah. And
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the thing that makes Tim Black bulletproof, like if you've seen some of his streams where his wife is on there too, fellow Black woman, conservative, family household, the man is bulletproof. You can't. There's no way you can come at him like that. Which is why Roland Martin won't even say his name. We know who he's talking about. I had to listen real close to a couple of Tim's live streams. We were saying that Roland was talking about. I was like, wait a minute.
Roland don't want no smoke with him because one of Tim's best friends is the alpha, and the other alpha called him out. Like he'll get his head stomped. You know, we was talking about that on one of the other Sunday shows because Hoop is alpha. We was talking about this is. I haven't seen this in recent history where members of D9 are publicly calling each other out over policy and refusing to toe the line. Because, phone call, and Hoop was saying that, phone calls get made. I got some phone calls, you know what I'm saying? I'm in these groups, my pink, you know what I'm saying? They behind closed doors, they be trying to get everybody back in line. And he's like, nah, we ain't going for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I noticed Roland Martin ain't been wearing that alpha gear no more, right?
A lot of people was on his top about it. Like he got alphas in public, calling him out.
Yep, making everybody go crazy.
Yeah, for basically like being a shill and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. I mean, if you really just think about it, like I said, we haven't seen that is a new one. Normally, everybody, how to go. Everybody toe the line. Everybody toe the line. Let's play a little bit more of this. I forgot. Okay, boom. Here we go. Tim. We got stuck because Tim dropped the bar.
Oh yeah.
It's performance. We don't do performance here. We do passion. We do righteous indignation. We do accountability, but we do not do theatrics. Tonight's question isn't how dare the Supreme Court. The question is, how did we get here? And who was supposed to be guarding that goddamn door?
We're coming on the air because the Supreme Court has just released a major decision which could have a profound impact on the midterm elections. The justices issuing a ruling on a case out of Louisiana involving the Voting Rights Act, redistricting, and whether states must end any consideration of race when redrawing congressional maps. The decision potentially reducing the influence of minority voters and minority representation in Congress. Let's get right to our senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer, who covers the Supreme Court for us. Devin.
And Kira, this decision is 6-3, written by Justice Samuel Alito, and it's a significant decision and a setback for the landmark Voting Rights Act of 1965, which was passed to guarantee equality in how we vote. And of course, addressing the systemic and historic racial discrimination, especially across the South. This decision came in a case out of Louisiana involving a court-ordered drawing addition of a second majority Black district in that state because of the size of the state's population. And the Supreme Court today in this decision said that the court violated the 14th Amendment by adding, the state rather, violated the 14th Amendment by adding that district. They used race impermissibly, consciously, to add a second district to aid those voters. And they said that is simply not allowed under our Constitution. Justice Samuel Alito didn't go as far as saying race can never be used in drawing these maps. That's something the court has affirmed before to comply with the Voting Rights Act, but he put a significant new limit on how courts can order states to draw their maps to be more equitable. He said that Section 2 imposes liability only when evidence supports a strong inference that the state intentionally drew its map to discriminate. So a setback for minority voters in Louisiana. And now, Kira, the impact of this decision is going to start to ripple across the country.
This is an outright power grab. It's about silencing Black voices, dismantling majority Black districts, and rigging the map so that politicians can choose their voters instead of the other way around.
Here we go with them big ass.
We've
Black.
seen this before. We know exactly what this leads to, and we will not go back. For years, we've sounded the alarm on the Voting Rights Act as the Voting Rights Act was chipped away piece by piece. Today, the consequences are here, and they are dangerous.
But the reality of our experience, our journey, now more than 400 years, is that we view a setback, and this is one, but we view setbacks as nothing more than a setup for a comeback.
Shut up, bitch!
And America has the great opportunity to keep the comeback going by exercising your right to vote.
In 2013, there was a case, Supreme Court gutted during the Shelby County versus Holder case. Pre-clearance was gone. Most people saw this as the alarm bell that they're going to come for Section 2 next. Where was the emergency response when they started doing this erasing of the Voting Rights Act back in 2013? Where was the urgency in 2013? 2021 through 2022, the trifecta window. Democrats had the House, the Senate, the White House, a Black vice president. CBC had 58 members at the time. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act, Advancement Act, did not pass. He got blocked by a filibuster. And Senate Democrats with Congressional Black Caucus backing refused to carve out a voting right exemption to the filibuster.
Yep.
They could have did something about it. They chose not to. Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema killed it. But where was the CBC's leverage? Where was the floor war? Yeah, where was Cory Booker with the 24-hour theatrical performance
I'm gonna come.
for the Voting Rights Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act?
I'm gonna come.
Where were the 58 Black members of Congress refusing to do business until their own people's voting rights were protected? They had one job, fam. One job, one job. You know what?
That man gave a speech for 24 hours.
If you're the head chef, and we have a special guest coming, it's your job to make sure that one meal is prepared correctly. Because we have a special guest coming. We need to make sure everything is sauteed correctly. Everything is piping hot. All the sauces, none of them are broke. The food is unparalleled, pristine. Front of the house is ready and on point. And you have done everything under the sun to make sure it's right. Because you had one job. Hakeem Jeffries, you and the Congressional Black Caucus had one job. 2021, no excuses. None. Case called Brunovich versus DNC. The Supreme Court narrowed Section 2's reach on voting procedures.
Nice. All right, Tim did his homework. That's why we walking these down one by one. He's spot on. They had one job, and all this is fake outrage, because if they really wanted anything done with this, they could have done it. Same thing with reparations. They had that reparations bill on the floor in California, and it was not shot down by Republicans. It was shot down by members of the Congressional Black Caucus. We also have to note that more than half of the Congressional Black Caucus are not FBA.
Yep, you're right. As far as I can remember, the Democrats have had control of both houses at least 2 or 3 times in the last 16 years, something like that. And they failed to do anything. These folks have been sitting here putting black folks on a hamster wheel since I can remember. Since 1971, we've been on a hamster. We're in the same spot we've been in for over 50 years. These people are worthless. Even when you increase the numbers from 13 when they started all the way up to 55 members, and y'all still can't get anything done. Like in the case of California, all they had to do was put it in front of Gavin Newsom and make him look like the asshole and veto it. And they refused to bring it up. Because these folks, like you said, they're non-FBA, they're cowards. Instead of making that dude look bad for kickbacks or whatever the heck they got out of it, they went ahead and withdrew it. And then you got these other folks here, like the Crash Out All-Stars on stage, just saying a bunch of nothing. They could have been got stuff done for if they cared about quote unquote black people. They could have been got something done. They had the numbers, or at least walked across the aisle and try to appeal to the other side of the aisle to try to get some type of deal on the table. They earmark stuff all the time, and you can't get simple stuff passed for black folks. But I guarantee you, all them same people that's on the Congressional Black Caucus, a lot of them voted for the Asian hate bill.
Yes, sir.
They voted for it. As a matter of fact, as I'm looking at my spreadsheets here, there's 62 members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and then like half of them have been there for like 30. Well, not half, but like a good portion of them been there for 30-something years.
And that right there is the problem. The old Negro industrial complex. We have to destroy it completely, root and stem.
So you got 1, 2, 3. There's at least 6 of them that's been here for over 33 years. And y'all couldn't get nothing done. Imagine being at a job for 30 years and accomplishing nothing. By anybody's metrics, that's a failure. That is complete and utter failure. And then when I started looking at some of these folks and see what their accomplishments are, nothing. Just funding for scholarships, funding for some BS NGO. There's nothing. No legislation out of none of these folks.
They're there to launder money and make sure that no actual real progress happens in terms of policy for the American black populace in general. They'll give it to the quiches, but for, as we've been talking, like there's no political leverage to be afforded to the heterosexual, free-thinking black male, the ones who actually fought in the wars to get all of this leverage.
Yep. And I went a step further today. I went and looked something up. I hadn't looked at it in a while, but I went and looked at the pictures from like all the scholarship funds and all the grants they've given. And you can't find no pictures of who they awarded the stuff to, except for like you might see like some little photo op with maybe 1 or 2 quiches. Not saying that they're the winners of these scholarships, but you kind of get the gist of it. Like, oh, they gave it to all quiches. I counted in one photo when they were talking about the conference where they were like having some dinner and they gave out a bunch of awards. It was 6 black men and like 25 quiches.
Of course.
I was like, y'all don't do nothing. Y'all just paperweights. You put the rest of us like it's just for optics. These folks are just straight up eye bleach. Well, if it looks like black people are doing something over here, I guess they're doing something for us, not realizing what's going on in the background is nothing. It just looks good on the surface. It's like, when I did a bunch of electrical work, we would like make a mock-up just to please the customer, to show them that what we're doing, eye bleach. And then all of a sudden, they go away. We go back to, screwing off for a bit till we get all these other problems solved. And it's the same damn thing. Like it drives me nuts. Like they think that folks are that damn stupid that we can't look online, look at the photos, follow these people on social media, and see exactly what they're doing with the money and time they're stealing from people.
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head, though. Like, they actually do have evidence that people are they actually are that stupid, or at least let's say not engaged or involved, and primarily that has been because from a political standpoint, we've had the black men following the Keisha's lead with politics, and we had the old Negroes telling us don't pay attention over here, don't get involved, and as long as that's going on, yeah, as long as that's going on, it's business as usual. And it suddenly stopped being business as usual once black men decided to compare notes and say, hey, what's going on with that? And all we're really doing right now is having conversations and asking questions. We're not even really fully organized in terms of any type of camp. We got a policy draft written up. Shout out to Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Dr. Ron Neal. But right now, this is just the conversation phase of it. And look at the damn. You see what I'm saying? So, I will say this too. Like, that being the case, I want you brothers to really start thinking and asking yourself, why on earth do you have certain Negroes continuously telling you to not be involved in any way at all in your own political future, while at the same time we know that the Keishas are actively involved, as are the Tethers, because they are represented everywhere in Congressional Black Caucus? Why do you have Negroes telling you not to be involved in the game that you set up and that you bled for, but they are encouraging everyone else to be involved? So if everyone's on the court scoring points and you're sitting on the bench not scoring no points, are you surprised that you got no points on the board? You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it confuses me because like we all from we're all around the same, I guess, age range. Well, I'm 43. I'm an older millennial. Close to Gen X.
Yeah, but, you're you and Mr. O, y'all in the same older millennial joint. I'm an Xer.
So like when I think of in terms of intelligence and some of the people I encounter who are way or younger than me, or it just blows my mind how they don't have the forethought, or they can't think in terms of, in the same way that we do. Like, are y'all not paying attention, or are y'all that still asleep at this point?
A lot of them are just like we were, though. Like they're the victims of bad information. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they weren't built as mentally resilient as we are. Like, propaganda works, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we're like you're an older millennial, so you're on that X cusp. And like I said, it's we've said it before. All of the actions coming from the later Xers, like the Xers that are closer to the boomers, are the goofies. The Xers that are further from the boomers are like the ones that are shaking shit up. And then with the millennials that are closer to the Xers are shaking shit up. And then the millennials that are closer to the Zs are the goofies.
Yeah.
So it's like this sweet spot of like this generation gap that is making all the moves and, like, you know, upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah, it's oh my god, like it almost gives me a headache. I'm sitting there like, how can y'all be this damn dumb, man? Like, what are y'all doing? You know, and I hate to insult these folks because I know they don't know any better, but like even when we put the information right in front of them, it's like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, and like I said, but those of the younger audiences, like, you know, that is like those are the group that like are 100% single mother raised. At least with us, like there were still men available. Like we still had boys and girls clubs, Boy Scout. You understand what I'm saying? Like these dudes are straight fed on hyena milk and like old nigga talking points. Like they really, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have a fucking chance. And they're in schools where critical thinking skills are not taught anymore. Like remember when we was in school, we had debate club and all that shit. Like bro, right now trending on social media is the new trend is people in high school walking around putting the camera in people's faces and asking them to read stuff. And it's seniors in high school all across the country, and they can't read. That's trending on TikTok right now. Here, read this. And like they can't sound the word. It's horrible, bro.
Oh,
they didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, I remember you talking about Sunday on the Sunday show, and I'm like, oh my god, and I got a son. What are you, 26? You 26 now? 27?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, man. Daggone kids been around so long. Same thing, bro. I had to teach them how to balance a checkbook, and we got that class in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there used to be home economics and like all like they were teaching you like practical skills and stuff like. But that, like I said, that's on purpose. When you look at everything all connected with the NGOs, the 401, the 501Cs, where the money was being funneled with USAID, it's a purposeful attempt to dumb down the population, because the dumber the voters, the more the politicians can get away from shit. Remember back in the day, like politicians, local congressmen, like you didn't do your job, you was up out of there. People would show up at your office, and like, you understand what I'm saying? The politicians are less accountable to the public now because the public is not informed.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's why I said, like, as bad as the politicians are, the way the system is, that this is basic civics. Like, none of this can really like, yeah, there is big donors, there's the elite, and there's all this, but still, in the bottom line, they can cheat in as many elections as they can't do it all across the country in all districts. Like, if the people really decide we don't want this person, they won't get the fucking votes. Like, the only reason they could cheat with stuff is because the margins are so thin. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so at that's why I was saying, at least for black men, like, there are so many things out of your control. So the one thing that is in your control, you should massively control it, and then you can leverage from there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The vote is useless if it's watered down, but when it's voted in the block, it's very powerful because elections are won by margins. And bro, like, that's how the mob end up taking everything over. You know what I'm saying? They organize the Teamsters and everything. We can get you them votes. You're like, bro, like, the wheel doesn't have to be reinvented. Like, you understand what I'm saying? There is a blueprint to gaining power in the United States. It's tried and true. You know what I'm saying? It's worked for every ethnicity. It's even worked for us. You know what I'm saying? It was, and the truth be told, it was working so well for us. Right, somewhere around in the 60s, they got in there and disrupted that shit. Like, we moving too fast after Reconstruction. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm highly suspicious of these old Negroes telling you not to do the one thing that has worked for every ethnic group and since the founding of the goddamn country.
Yeah, and that's the part we need to continue to put out there. Old fish fry. I don't know what we got to do to get these people out of office, except in continue to push this message. And I'm glad what happened in Louisiana pretty much set the precedent. So hopefully we can get daggone fish fry up out of daggone South Carolina, because these old dudes got to retire. Like, there is no way, if you're over 60 years old, you will not live to see the repercussions of your garbage policies. There's no way. These folks are going to go to their grave enriching their own people outside of everybody else, and that'll be the end of it. And then they'll die off. We'll forget that it was that person who voted on it, and then somebody else will take their place and do the same darn thing. And then you'll have 20, 30 years of the same old garbage before you get them out. And guess what? They kill over too. Wash, rinse, and repeat.
That's what I'm talking about. Half of the shit that we pushing for, man, most of us won't even see in our friggin' lifetime. But I think most of us are under the auspice that, okay, we can't do like the boomers did. Like, we're doing our job. We're putting out good information, or at least publicly debatable information. So then everybody, it's up to y'all to do what y'all do. A lot of us was going 100% in, but just based on bad information. So like you can only get certain results based on how well good your information is. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I mean, it's going to come down to the men, and as it always does. So I really am a Darwinist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way I see these young boys, they have more resources than we did. So and now there's more information out. It's survival of the fittest. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like y'all either gonna make it or you're not. And if you don't, then so be it. Evolution has said that you wasn't fit. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have more resources than we had.
And then we're also showing
them resources and better information. So
Yeah.
I got no sympathy for them.
And then like when it comes to the young guys, like we're also showing them how to use these tools. So I think that makes a difference, because like a lot of the stuff that I know, I had to hash it out on my own. Like you had a few old heads here and there that would give you some information, but they didn't know. They didn't come up with all this technology, so we had to go through it. Like we had from a generation where we barely had cell phones and dial-up internet.
And we was all latchkey kids and all that other shit. Like, bro, we was out. You know what I'm saying? We was outside before the phrase outside. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're the only generation to have our foot in both we got our foot in the analog age and the digital age. So like, you know what I'm saying? So some of these kids are only just digital age. They don't have certain like built-in inbred survival skills with certain things, like, you know what I'm saying, intuitive of certain things. They're too technology dependent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like epigenetics really is like a real thing, bro.
So sometimes you wish it wasn't. Like sometimes you wish it wasn't. Like
no, the human male species is recalibrating in real time right in front of our faces, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of this of the epigenetic readjustment, the male that survived is going to be a colder, shrewder. You understand what I'm saying too? Across all ethnic groups. Do you know what I'm saying? Technologically aware, like, you know what I'm saying? And they'll be the ones with the higher testosterone levels. Bro, we're seeing it happen in real time, bro.
Oh yeah.
Some of the guys are gonna they're gonna get modifications. Some guys are gonna Neuralink. Believe me, that's coming. Some of the guys are definitely gonna Neuralink. I'm telling you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's coming. It's coming real fast and soon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a competition thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I got Neuralink. I can sync with all my shit. Like I can make $1 million in 6 months. I got Neuralink now. Real shit. Real shit. Oh, quiet storm in the building. He said, I'm preparing investing to not count on Social Security. It won't be there by the time I'm 65. Straight up. I've been loading up some of these. I did the goofy joint. I didn't click on the actual name of the sound. I was clicking on all the other shit. Bruh. All right. Yeah, I've been loading a couple of them up. Hold on.
I'm gonna come.
Shut up, bitch. All right, bet my soundboard gonna be popping.
It's gonna be nuts.
I'm gonna
It's
come.
gonna be nuts. And what I was doing with that joint, I was like, it was a certain sound I couldn't describe it, I put it into Google and it would find it for me and it would pull it up on that same page.
Oh, I'm about to go soundboard crazy, bro. Hold on. Detroit says, that's why crypto is here and I'm paying taxes to add to my Social Security and I'm focusing on crypto, ZBEC, BTT, and XRP. I'm heavy on XRP. I'm going to have to look up ZBEC and BTT. International Quiet Storm says, these Z's, I call them iPad kids, have no idea how dope it was to be a kid in the 8th. Bro, yeah, I say this all the time, guys. We did not know how good we fucking had it.
Yeah.
We, because it was rough too. So a lot of times we was complaining, but bro, you did not know how good we fucking had it.
Yeah, take me back.
Like bro, like house parties, just like a room full of kids, like in basements with a black light and shit, and just dancing for hours, making out. Bro, like hanging out with your like 15, 20 deep, like clubs packed, bro. It'll never be the same, bro.
10, 15 dudes on bicycles, girls playing hopscotch, double dutch,
Bro, we did not know how good we fucking had it. Drinking out of the fucking garden hoses and shit. Like, bro, just it's like even high school. Like, I be looking because I look at shit now and I'm like, bro, like we didn't have the technology, but high school was so fucking awesome now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing: you really had like real friends. Like, these kids don't really have friends; they're all parasocial. I'm about to drop 2 videos in the next 2 weeks about the female loneliness epidemic and like all these women being I'm saying like the Meg Thee Stallion shit is proven that all these chicks are fucking parasocial. They're living vicariously. They don't even have their real own fucking life. You know, girls don't even know how to flirt anymore. Remember back in the day, the chick could give you a look and bro, we did not know how we had it, bro.
Did she bump into you?
Bump in the bump. Yup, the bump. The bump. Oh, excuse me. Or the what? You bumped into me. Yeah. Bro, we did not know how girls used to really know how to. The coldest line that a chick, because some chicks used to pick me up a lot, but the coldest line a chick ever did, I was in New York. I was dating by Stern Business School, and we was at this bar, and this chick was bad as shit across the bar, right? So something happened. She was eyeballing me. I was eyeballing her. My friends were like, man, just go over there and just take her drink. I found out what she was drinking. I walked over, brought the drink over, and I was like, hello, my name is something. Then she stopped. She put her hand up and stopped me, and she goes, you had me at hello. Cold. I had some shit out there, but she was like, you had me at hello. Are we going home or what? Are we going home? Are we going home or what? I was like, oh, say less. That's how that shit used to be, bro.
Yes.
Say less. Because, I'm about to, I'm about to say some smooth shit to me, and she just watching me talk. She looked at me, put her hand up. She was like, you had me at hello. We going home or what? Or you want to finish your drink? I was like, let's go home. Yo, that's how that shit used to be.
That was back when the pickup lines weren't on the internet and everybody didn't know them.
Man.
Stuff was easy.
Man, what up, Shaka? Yeah, building go-karts. How about that? Remember the go-karts?
Yeah.
Go-karts, big wheels, man. Y'all missed it, man. What you would call it? The cardboard with the aluminum foil on it, the wrestling belts, and everybody out wrestling on the mattress. Everybody wrestling for a big aluminum foil cardboard belt, and we was going hard. Jumping off, that's crazy. Yo, we was in there getting it into really hitting each other with chairs and shit.
You know how many ass whoopings I got for wasting my aluminum foil?
Yeah, all the backyard brawls. Like, bro, we was crazy. If you really look at how we played back, like in the day, like nowadays, that shit would be like danger and health hazard, or even that the parents even allowed half of that shit to go on. Motherfuckers get locked up for abuse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we was really hitting each other with 2x4s and chairs and shit.
Yeah, the rock fights, BB
Yeah, bro. But like full force hitting each other and shit. Like, now when you think about it, like, bro, we was crazy.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it, Jimmy.
Bro, playing full contact football on the concrete. And I'm talking about like the whole neighborhood, like this block against this block. You know what I'm saying? Running at each other, full force on concrete, playing tackle.
Or the old school, most of us didn't have a basketball goal, busting out a crate and
busting out the crate. Bro. Yo, yeah, we was kind of built different, bro. All the shit in the playground was like that hard die cast metal. So if you fell and shit, like you literally bust your head open and shit, and motherfuckers would just keep playing around. Like, just put some water on it. Like you wouldn't go home because if you had to go back in the house, you wouldn't let you back out. So your head be busted open, and you be with your friends. They be like, "Oh, let's go to the corner store." Motherfuckers would be trying to get you fake first aid and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can stay out of it. If you go back, your mom's not gonna let you back out. You'd be running around with a busted head all day. Everybody checking on you and shit. Niggas putting napkins on you. Yo, that's real shit.
Yep.
Yo, crazy.
Bro, first aid on the playground. Yes.
Yo, that's real shit, bro. Yo, contractor, right? Yo, rock fights, yeah, bro. You get hit in your face with a rock, and then people be like, "Yo, you're gonna have to walk that off." Well, you could go home. You know, you're not gonna be allowed back out. Can't come back out till tomorrow. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. Usually you be really, but or like y'all drive y'all bike so far, and somebody get busted up, and then y'all would have to like throw the person over the bike, over the two bikes to get them back to the neighborhood because y'all wasn't supposed to be that far out.
What happened to him? Nothing.
Nothing. Yo, crazy. All right, man.
I was about to say, yeah, man, be on the other side of town.
Man.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh man.
All right, man. Let's do Black Westchester. Let's do Black Westchester.
Cool. Damn, Kwame tried you with the bottle rocket fights. God damn, bro.
Yeah, bottle rocket fights are crazy. Which is basically another death hazard. You literally firing an explosive at the motherfucker. Bro, we was wild shit, bro. International Quiet Storm, man. What up?
Shut up, bitch.
I love my new soundboard. All right. Oh shit. All right, come on. All right, this is Black Westchester. Let's get some.
These are the Negroes that
bang. There we go. And Kwesi Mfume, he's from isn't he from Philly? Ain't Kwesi from Philly?
Hold on, Kwasi Mfume. That I hadn't heard of that dude in a minute. Where he from?
I ain't even
Mfume. Because I looked up who's the black CBC members in Philly. You got Dwight Evans.
Useless.
One in Philly.
They all useless.
They support.
All right, I'm glad he did this. We're gonna have to do a spreadsheet and find out who's FBA, who's not. First thing I noticed immediately, way too many Keishas.
Look at all them Negroes get money from APAC. This is straight off their website.
This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester Magazine presents the People Before Politics show, the news.
And I'm going to go back to where I really think it's like disrespectful to black media. When me or you, AJ, when we put out these articles to try to inform the public, the first thing they do is send us what the white media says.
Facts. And I want once again, no news. I want if you notice the ongoing thing with these brothers that I'm covering, you see how they all got like a particular demeanor and like why? Because they coming off like regular brother, like a regular nigga you would talk to, right?
Right.
It's not pundit-ish or not. And I'm trying to show this like that. This is actually more prevalent than is actually visible. You see what I'm saying to you? Yeah. I'm an analyst. Well, I used to be an analyst. I'm not going to say what I used to do, but I used to be in intelligence. And there's something called an information bubble, right? And then within the information bubble, we have something called narrative shaping. And you guys can figure out the rest from there because you're all quite intelligent.
Right.
And so this is why I'm showing you these, because what? These guys are outside of the information bubble. These guys, you see what I'm saying? This type of black man making conservative content. The people that are inside of the information bubble where narrative shaping is going on and prevalent are of a particular that some might find off-putting or distasteful. That it's not by accident. But outside of the information bubble, the majority we have find out that a majority of the black men are actually like this, and for some reason you didn't even know they existed. See what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's an interesting phenomenon because, like, now that I'm thinking about it, like it's almost confusing. Like, wait, why didn't we notice that before?
And like I said, these guys have large channels, but what does that mean? That means that it's not only black people watching it. It means what? That they have a huge white audience.
Yep, white, and other audience.
And other audience, but they're not like what has been like Officer Tatum or something like. They just like regular talking common sense. And what I'm saying is, we see that there's an audience for that it's palatable. And the more that you click on these channels, you'll find out you're seeing all these kind of. You're like, how come none of these content creators ever popped up on my algorithm or my feed? But I get all these female content creators and these low T content creators.
Yep.
I think it's disrespectful, especially from black people. So with the national conversation around Israel and what's going on with Israel, in 1964, Malcolm wrote an article called Zionist Logic, and it was published in a paper in the Middle East. And he talks about how the Zionists, and he said this in 1964, will control the thoughts of the media and how we perceive things and control our politicians.
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that before. I think did Kanye West, the first time I heard, I think Kanye West had mentioned it, but I also heard like rumblings of it in other black spaces as well.
No, but he's referring to a article that Malcolm X wrote.
Right. You said, have you heard it before? I was like, yeah. Like I've heard that article, and then I've heard other people repeat this over throughout history.
Well, remember, Kanye West's father is a Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just asking almost rhetorically, because I am actually aware of that essay. I've actually read it quite some time ago. That article quite some time ago. So that's what I'm saying. So, and this is what I'm saying. So Black Westchester, a lot of his leanings are conservative in terms of his analysis. And this is what I'm saying. But look, he's referencing Malcolm X and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these things that are in terms of policy and the actual contemporary black thought of the everyday black man is actually a culmination of these conservative ideas, as well rooted into some of the solid black history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I'm saying about the information bubble and the narrative shaping that's been around, quote unquote, the black conservative. Like they'll put up a Larry Elders, it'd be like Coon, you know what I'm saying? And I always say this to Saul about Thomas Sowell. Every time one of these leftists talk about he's a coon, but I never hear anyone refute any of his arguments. You have to bear in mind that Thomas Sowell is arguably one of the greatest economists and political minds of his generation. We have footage of him all the way back from the 70s whooping everybody's ass. Milton Friedman, everyone. We have the footage.
Oh yeah. And
what I'm saying is, I never hear anyone refute an argument. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Coon is not an argument.
Yeah, they never have the balls to call him a liar.
Yeah, Coon is not an argument. Do you know what I'm saying? And the books that he's written, they're not books for narrative. They're he's a scholar. So he's writing for everyone that is his peer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a member of Heritage Foundation, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, he is quite one of the greatest economies of any ethnic group of our times. And like I said, if you go look back, look at the old who's my guy, Buckley show and stuff like that, where he's actively debating everyone. He whoops these white boys' asses.
Mm-hmm.
Like handily, too, by the way, handily.
And what's crazy about that is I've seen a lot of the clips over time on YouTube, and you still
William F. Buckley. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
William F. Buckley.
And you'll still get people who are quote unquote in this space that still try to call him a coon, say he wasn't for black people, you know, that he didn't know what he was talking about, which I don't understand, because everything he said, it sounded like common sense to me.
And a lot of it is actually coming true.
Yeah. And he's the only one who's had the balls to go into white spaces and debate them on economics as far as black folks versus white folks.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't refute that.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, watch those old debates on William F. Buckley with him and Milton Friedman, like all of the great economists of the time. Yo, and he'd be busting them white boys up, and you know what I'm saying? And I think he's a Harlem kid. He's a New Yorker. All right, let's go. Let's get back. Oh, we're at 121. All right, we're making good time.
So then I decided to say, hey, man, do they control our politicians? So in the follow-up in part 2, in Zionist logic, absolutely, they control our politicians. They control our politicians.
They control our media too.
The entire Congressional Black Caucus gets money from AIPAC. And if you go to AIPAC's website, they brag on how much money they give to the Congressional Black Caucus. And you wonder why we can never get all these black people to stand up for a bill to study reparations. But yet, our first black president, Barack Obama, cuts a deal for $8.3 billion a year for 10 years to go to Israel. But when the Democratic Party controlled the House and the Senate and the White House, we couldn't get a bill to study reparations. Take it over for a second, because my wife is going to keep calling me.
Okay,
I was on my phone. Yo, yeah, I don't know how to follow that up.
No, let's stop right there anyway. What you call? I am going to say this. You see how this is the problem with this internet is a problem for them. Like, it's just black men sitting around, just having the time on their hands to sit around and talk things out in public, figure things out collectively. That we ain't marching in the street, we ain't doing nothing. We turning on cameras and mics and laptops and phones and just talking. So just the conversation disrupts the infrastructure in and of itself.
Yep, you supposed to be at work. You're supposed to be at work. Yeah, you're supposed to be at work. You're supposed to be watching the game, playing a video game. You're not supposed to be paying attention to what we're doing out here. You're supposed to be having your head down and doing as we say.
Yeah, just keep voting us back in. We not gonna get, we can't do no, but yeah, they keep sending this money to everybody, but the problem, this is what I said, like I said, shout out to us and what we've been doing since the election and the Burton hate and everything else like that. Like, it doesn't get a lot of views up, but somehow, some way, the network effect happens, and like things we talk about seem to permeate into the greater social media some way or another. Look at Quiet Storm, True to Form, doing the math. That's the link down there to U.S. security assistance to Israel, the 10-year amount, and this one is he did the math: $3.8 billion a year, not It's 3.8 billion a year, not 8 billion.
8.3, yeah.
Yeah, not 8.3. And like I said, yeah, like I said, that's money that could be going. Well, here's the thing, and now, and we see how like what the play is. They give the subsidies and the government welfare in terms of federal jobs, Section 8. They give that to the women, give the men nothing because if they get a twofer, they knew if they get the women, the men are going to vote the way that the women vote because it's a matriarchy and a hyena ship. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even have to give the men nothing. And the men, and we got the old niggas telling the men not to even think about it, be involved or vote. So we don't even know what we're supposed to be getting because we never even had a goddamn conversation about it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
But then, and then we turn around, like, they not giving us, and it never occurred to you, y'all niggas never asked for nothing. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. It's
And
like
you never asked for nothing because you never sat around and talked and figured out what exactly it is that we want. Like I said, shout out to Dr. Tia Johnson and Dr. Ron Neal because they did a lot of the heavy lifting. And like I said, now all I got to do is send you a PDF. Like, what do black men want? Well, here's a 19-point, pick something.
Mm-hmm.
And and honestly, thanks to Dr. Tia Johnson, Dr. Ron Neal, when we started doubling down for Trump on this election, a lot of our argument just was that, well, here's a 19 points thing with the Dr. Tia Johnson.
Yeah,
and the thing is, you either want to get these things directly or indirectly. And all we kept saying is Trump may not be directly saying he's going to do this and this, but if he does this, this, and this, doesn't this indirectly affect a couple of these things on this list? You see what I'm saying?
Yep, that's a fact.
A lot of our argument was made off of that policy points, those policy points that Dr. Tia Johnson had laid out in some of Dr. Ron Neal's Black Male Independence. And that's really how we made our argument. Like, no, he's not explicitly saying black men, this is black men. But if he dismantles DEI, isn't that a plus? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not the Keisha's off of this other shit. If he does this shit with the illegals, doesn't that mean more blue collar jobs, more trucker jobs? Like, you know what I'm saying? That directly or indirectly applies to some of these things on this policy sheet we got.
Exactly. Yeah, it gave us a concrete foundation that many of us couldn't articulate back when like we were having these conversations with each other. We all were saying the same thing, but it wasn't all solid. And then Dr. Tia Johnson pretty much boiled down everything we were saying to him to 19 points. Like when I first came in, it was like 18, and then they added another one. And a lot of it surrounded, the family courts, our ability to earn and make money. What else is on there? Some court reforms, just things that we actually been talking about that have been largely ignored for years. And then you had was it Stacey Abrams tried to peel off a few of our points.
That's Lord of Brooklyn. That's Lord of Brooklyn right there in the chat. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh yeah, that just happened. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Tried to peel off a couple of our points, and it almost worked. But she wasn't wholeheartedly invested in it because she didn't come down and talk to us. And then I saw something in a chat room somewhere. I forget where it was. I thought I had the screenshot for it, where somebody tried to pitch this 19-point agenda to Kamala Harris folks, and they largely ignored it. It's out there for the public to see.
Of course.
She could have been the daggone president if she had looked at that daggone document and acknowledged it at least. She probably could have. I have no doubt in my mind she could have persuaded just a few, just enough to get those votes that she probably needed.
Oh, well, we're gonna see some rendition of what do you call it? Like talking points pandering coming in 2028. Begrudgingly, nonetheless, because they're gonna have to do something to cater to this swing, this block of black male swing voters. Like because the numbers are coming in increasingly, and both parties. If like if the Republicans and the right want to maintain that little that little percentage that they peeled off from the Democratic base of black men, they gotta, directly or indirectly have a talking point or a policy point. And then on the left, they're going to have to include something in the policy platform if they hope to either regain them or not bleed more votes. So, like I said, even with this Trump win, we've already firmly just this little 20% that they say we carved off. I really think it's closer to 34% that we've carved off. Is already having the effect of a swing voter block, and it's pressure on both parties to attend to it, because we're within that margin that swings elections.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have never happened if we were still listening to these fucking old niggas. See what I'm saying to you?
Yep.
See how that all comes back around?
Oh yeah, it comes everything's coming home to roost.
Oh, yeah.
Damn chickens.
Stop listening to the old niggas, and all of a sudden shit starts happening. Imagine that.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I went to go look up the black male political agenda because I got to re-download it on this computer because I lost it on my hard drive went down. And I just found the 19-point political agenda on Lipstick Alley.
Wow.
And they talking about it.
Wait. They have ours on Lipstick Alley?
On Lipstick Alley, they're talking about it.
Wait. What's the date on that?
January this year.
Get the fuck out. Yo, send me that link via email.
I posted in the yes.
Posted it in the chat and send it to my email. Bro,
they're talking about it.
Bro, if it's on Lipstick Alley, that means they're panicking.
Oh man, they definitely are, bro.
No. I mean, for it to be on Lipstick Alley and being discussed, because that's a liberal node, and it's a liberal female node. That means somebody's doing some homework, being like 124-26. Bro, right. It's the year of the midterms. That's the year of the midterms.
Mm-hmm. And
whoa, I didn't know this.
I found it by accident as you were talking. I was like, let me pull this up because I forgot to download on this PC, and I was gonna pull up a few of the points in reference to what the older gentleman was just talking about. What we were just talking about, rather. They posted the whole political agenda on Lipstick Alley, and the first comment after this chick posted it was like, "See, they only worried about child support, pretty much."
But that's them discussing, like, that's them figuring out what we gotta give these niggas, what we gotta give these niggas, because we need them. But we will not be bought so cheaply. Some of these old niggas will, the simps.
Yep.
And the National Quiet Storm says the 19-point agenda is also on ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, and Gemini. Okay, you know what that means, guys? We need you guys to interact with each of these AI platforms and just ask it randomly questions about the 19-point agenda, so it starts proliferating the language models. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. This is crazy.
Because you know what's going to happen. So Congress, people running political campaigns, policy wonks, right? So when they start drafting speeches and they start running the campaigns, they have assistants, et cetera, and they're all lazy. So they're all going to use AI. And then when it comes to what do we need to put in the policy platform, or what do we need to reach out to black men, and they refer to AI, that will make it so whenever one of these policy wonks, speech writers, anyone that's putting things together for these campaigns, and that's from local to federal, when their interest is what do black men want, we need a policy point, we need some language for a speech. So the AI models will start recommending the 19 points agenda. See what I'm saying?
Man, that's crazy. It's just to find that in real time. I was like, holy shit.
No, but what I'm saying is the way the language model starts to proliferate it more is when you need individual people referencing it to have the conversation about it, so that it spreads through the language model.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you ask most like a lot of the language models, because it's referencing liberal materials. If you ask about black men issues, it's going to be like mass incarceration and drug. You know what I'm saying? All like 1990s like talking points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Help train the model. Yeah.
Help train. You got. That's what I'm saying. Like us, we have to control the things we can control. You guys can control talking to the models about the 19 points plan and stuff like that. You guys can control showing up for fucking voting. And you guys can control posting goddamn memes. Like, we can control these things, and we know these things are effective. They're the whole drop in the water. It's the death of 1,000 cuts Chinese water torture method. Yeah, keep feeding the LLMs. I'm actually going to double down on that myself and start having it write articles and stuff like that. So yeah, you can. Yeah, you're basically hacking the LLM. You know what I'm saying?
That way,
You're socially engineering the LLM to have your point. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And you got to think about it. It's got to be incredibly easy because no one's put any effort into putting out what do black men actually want, because no one fucking cares. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we definitely got to keep, like you said, keep feeding the algorithm.
Yeah, you're basically going to social engineer the LLM.
Yeah. I wonder if we do this smart, now. Right? Yeah, it's pretty damn smart. I wonder if we do this from now to the midterm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is exactly what I was hinting at. Yes, sir. It's not a bad idea, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
So I'm saying black men are resourceful once we get together and start talking about a few things. And that's why they hate these channels. All right, but we made perfect time. We are at the, pardon me, the 1 hour 37 minute mark. There you go, Playboy. There you go, exactly, 100%.
Bruh. I'm gonna come. Shut up, bitch.
That Trump joint is hilarious, bro.
Yo. All right, excellent. All right, let's play. This is It's Culture. He's actually a friend of the channel. And he makes very good content as well. We're actually working on doing like a joint podcast, or either a joint content creation with him. Mark Stevenson. It's the It's Culture podcast. Matter of fact, I've been dropping the links to everything we're reviewing in the chat, guys. So and I'll probably have them. Pardon me. I'll probably have them in the description box when I update it after this. All right, so this is the last one as well, at the 1 hour 39 minute mark, so we can make our 2 hour mark. So this is and he recently had a massive back and forth with Roland Martin as well. So this is what the Black Congressional Caucus did in 72 hours should scare every FBA. And like I said, we're having this conversation. I said it with the backdrop of this because, as I was saying, like we've been talking about in behind the scenes, hey, we should probably talk about the CBC for quite some time. And it just so happens that in the last 2 weeks, like a lot of the big black content creators, like in the political commentary space, they've just been going at the Congressional Black Caucus. So this is the perfect time to fucking dogpile on them.
Hell yeah.
3 days. 3 days. That is all it took. Just 3 days. On April 13th, an investigative outlet called the American Prosper published a story saying that the Congressional Black Caucus the people who are supposed to be, quote, the conscience of the Congress, was about to quietly sign off on a surveillance program the FBI was used to spy on some Black Lives Matter activists back in 2020. Over 130 of them. And then today, 3 days later, after the story didn't hit, after the phone started ringing, after, the vote got delayed on the House floor because the Republicans couldn't even whip their own people to support it. Now you got the Congressional Black Caucus releasing a statement saying they have, and I quote, very serious reservations. 3 days. That's how long it took for them to discover their conscience. And we're going to talk about all of this tonight on This Culture. Let's get it.
I made it out the door, but the bullet stayed in me. Left the block physically, mentally, it's still with me. Scars don't heal, just cut the scenery.
Or you may have been chatting with somebody that might have been over in Ghana or one of these other countries. Guess what? The United States was collecting your data. And then, so once it was in the database, the FBI, they could go into the database and run what they call a U.S. person inquiry. They'll type your name in, your phone number, your email address, and they'll pull up all your private conversations with no warrant, no judge, no probable cause. They were calling this it was called a backdoor search. So the Brennan Center, it was like a backdoor. They said it was like a backdoor to the Fourth Amendment. Like doing all of the Black Lives Matter protests around George Floyd, and all the protests that were going on during that time. They said that the FBI used this Section 702 FISA thing to go after some of these activists. Over 130 of them.
Girls are trying to show this like that. This is actually more.
So when the Bureau got caught, right?
Girls are trying to show this. Like
they said it was a lack of understanding. It was a lack of understanding on the person who was doing the searches, right? And then, then the person who did it, right? They said that this agent got remedial training. He done spot this person, whoever they were, was spying on 130 activists. Now that's what we know about. We don't know about who else they were surveilling. It could have been some of you out there that's been out here in the streets fighting over, reparations. You could have been at a rally or something. And now you'd have had some communication with somebody that you know that might not be a citizen of the United States or might be a foreigner. And next thing you know, they surveilling you. Or you were out at a protest and they captured your picture, did a US name search and searched by your picture. Next thing you know, they surveilling you. We don't know how many people these people were surveilling. And the only thing that they can say was that the person got some remedial training. We talking about private communications being pulled by the FBI, and their response was to send whoever this was to class, some type of seminar. This person got on a Zoom call. They got a PowerPoint presentation. We know how the military, if you were ever in the military, do you know how the government do? They PowerPoint you to death. They probably came out with some little video, had them do 10 questions at the end. Our activism. This is Intel Pro. You know what I'm saying? Co-Intel Pro, all the way to Ferguson and everywhere else around to Minneapolis. And they're using this stuff on us, foundational Black Americans. And they're doing it every single time we organize or try to fight for something that's dealing with our rights. This is a receipt, y'all. And this is what the Congressional Black Caucus was about to rubber stamp this week. They were about to rubber stamp and give Trump the ability to continue this crap. So if y'all ain't know about this, let me tell y'all what happened this week, how it went down, because this is like a case study right here. So, you know, this is how power gets exercised over, you know, these politicos, the ones they want us to be voting for in Washington. This is how it go. So according to this report, right, from the American Prospect, and I'll leave the article in the chat so y'all can go read it. So last week on the 13th, they confirmed this with some congressional sources who want to remain anonymous. So Congressman Gregory Meeks from New York, you had he's the ranking member of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. Okay, it's one of the most powerful committees, committee that you can be on in Congress, and he's one of the most powerful committee members. You know what I'm saying? He is who went to the CBC and lobbied them to stand down on reforming this. I'm gonna repeat what I just said. He went to his own members of the CBC and told them to stand down on trying to change this Section 702 thing. We don't know who he got his marching orders from. All I know is, according to this report, he had a conversation with Jim Hines, who is a congressman from Connecticut. He's a high-ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. He's been running around Washington for weeks pushing for the exact same talking points that the CIA wanted pushed. They wanted clean authorization. They ain't want no reforms. This is just trust us. We're gonna make sure that nothing happens. Now, here's where it gets real interesting at. And I want y'all to pay attention to this, because this is where it gets very, very, this is where the hypocrisy is. So you got the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus. You got Yvette Clarke, Congresswoman from New York, right? Now, on some of these issues, she's been on the right side of most of them, okay? Because, she, back in, I think it was 2010, she publicly opposed this FISA warrant thing. All right. She said that if they were to continue to fund this thing, you're gonna give private industries the ability to become like public spy agencies for the government. So that was her back in like 2010, 2011. That's what she was saying. So
all right.
Hold on, I muted myself. I said I'm gonna have to stop him right there, because it was all fortifies and shit. Once Trump started to run for election in 2026, that's how they arrested everybody on the right, and that's how they That's how we got the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier. That's how we got the Russia hoax and all this other shit. So she don't get no points for that. So basically, he really making an argument that they was basically, or as far as public spying, FISA warrant, and all the deep state shit, they was pretty much all against it until a motherfucking Republican got in the fucking office and started going at the deep state, and then they greenlit everything.
Yeah, like I remember as he was talking, he kept saying 702. I was like, where have I seen that before? And I was taking a trip up to the Nashville, and I was listening to that particular hearing about renewing Section 702.
Right.
So it's a coincidence that I happened to watch like almost that whole, listen to it as I was driving. So that whole Section 702 that was in place during Obama,
right?
So it was cool. Everybody greenlit the hell out of that, and now that Trump wants to renew it, so they can continue what they've been doing for the past 16 years, 16, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that now it's a problem. Like you said, now it's a problem. That they're trying to impede Trump from getting because they know something we don't. So
well, then the other thing, especially now that we got the whole fucking country flooded with like fucking terrorist sleeper cells.
Yeah.
Flooding under the Biden administration. What do we do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, it gives Trump the ability to actually go after all the people who opposed him the first time. So all they're doing is looking for any strand, any thread they can find to keep Trump from getting his hands on their personal records. Because I don't think they were done with Doge and USAID and all the fraud that's going on. They weren't done. So those FISA warrants could also be used to surveil folks in the states. Now, what the one chick who was opposing it was doing, she was arguing that because of the stupid FBI under Obama's watch, these dudes was using those that same system to spy on their girlfriends, run tags and all that. So now it becomes a security concern for everybody because of a few bad apples. And that was the only argument they had.
Mm-hmm.
But to go after all these people in the deep state who's been taking all this money and stuff like that, I think they should renew it. I ain't got nothing to hide, so they look at everything. I don't care.
Well, that and plus all of the money that's being funneled out of the country via this whole Somali international laundering ring. Bro, we got gaping holes everywhere in the country. And like I said, even with the Iran thing, I'm glad we struck a deal. It's like we shut down the power base because don't get it twisted. People forget that. I mean, I didn't. But months before the initial strike and then the second strike on that, we forgot we shut down those 6 Iranian sleeper cells in Texas. Then they was found with all them explosives and weapons. That went in and out of the news
with the quickness.
With
that's all these people that they're going to let run rampant so they can justify getting power. See, all that stuff happened on their watch. If we were in office, this wouldn't have happened. And then they turn around and reap the benefits of it. But they've done this to us for the past 20 years. They've been doing this to us, and it's just that so happens that the brothers in the space are recognizing the patterns. We're finding the information.
Yeah, well, I mean, what the last bro was saying, I hear what he's saying, but the way it's really looking, the way he broke that down, it just looks like the Congressional Black Caucus are just useful tools. They'll swing any which way they're the lobbyists or whoever's got their hand on the button they'll vote any which way, but never in the interest of the FBAs here in the States. And I think that is actually apropos and spot on.
Yeah.
Right where we need to, right where a good place to put a pin in it all, because we are at the 1 hour and 53-minute mark. I'm gonna let you do the closing statement. We'll get up out of here, man. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, the 2 hours went fast.
Yeah, it did. Well, all right. Let me end this out with this. The CBC, like you said, useful tools, useful fools. They got to find somewhere to get their money from. After the USAID got cut off, the money pit is dry. Somalis got found out they done skipped town. They got to do something. They've never been for us. 30, 40, 50 years of being, in positions of power and not doing anything for black people. It's a wrap. We tired of y'all. Y'all got to go. They have got to go. And all they're going to do is take up space on every committee because, they've been there so long. They're the ranking members. So whenever they get elected, they're going to be the ranking member on whatever committee. And they're drowning out younger, more progressive folks who actually have a finger on the pulse of what's going on in the country. Like I said, these folks ain't going to live long enough to see the garbage that they let slide through. And I'll land my plane there.
No, I think you're spot on. As far as the voting, who's going to get elected and this, that, and that's all going to have to lean on. I mean, it's only as far as that goes. That's all on you, black man. Keisha going to vote blue no matter what, and it's never going to be policy related or in any sort of long term interest. So it's just a done deal. I always be saying this with what we're doing in this space. This is triage. We're not saving nothing. The
Yep.
patient, cancer has metastasized in the patient. This is not a rescue mission. This is a salvage mission. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Save who you can, leave the rest.
We're gonna that's why we've been operating for Pareto distribution. You know, you go into complex situations, you gotta calculate what is an acceptable rate of loss. You know what I'm saying? And um, acceptable is 80% loss rate across the board,
Yep.
directly or indirectly. We save 20%. I'm talking about the men. You know, we'll replenish it, and it'll have. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to be that way. Half of these dudes, half of them are non-operative and useless.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They're not building nothing anyway. So the
Yeah.
20 who are actually building something can create a whole new community instead of having to drag on dead weight.
Yeah. And this is where we're at. We're at the build and destroy phase. Like there's a reason we got Dark Side at the end of clips and Thanos and stuff. It's metaphors, it's Easter eggs, but it is apropos. Yo, I want to thank you for coming out, hanging out with me. No, let's do this again next week when you free up. And what you call it? I've been having this banner on the screen all show. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. We'll be having more convos, and he's about to start streaming and making content again soon. This is what we're in season 9 now. We got a bunch of new shit coming on the channel, man. Stay tuned. Until then, salute to the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is going to go into rotation, so if you missed it tonight, it'll probably be playing sometime during prime time tomorrow during the day. Who's this in the comments? No news. All right, bet. All right, that being said, man, I just saw make my time. Like I always say, man, good night and good luck.